Hello and welcome everyone, it is me, TheLaval, also known as the Power To-Do List, back for you guys with another video. And today I wanted to talk about you guys about all of the more standard and more freaky Morphtronic variants I have built in my time of getting back into this game. And I'd say we started off with an absolute classic that you all know, that I love. It is Equip and OTK Morphtronics. For each and every single one of these you will see a example deck list on screen. Some of these are, mind you, a bit more experimental, but this one is as standard as it gets. For everyone who hasn't seen the Gizmek Naganaki video, which you should definitely check out, shameless self-promotion out of the way, probably info card up. This is currently the list I am playing in the tournament we are hosting on our Phoenix format Discord, also something you should check out. Links for that on the channel and also announcement video for that on the channel as well. Yeah, it's Equip and OTK Morphtronics, a deck that I have been running for a good amount of years now, a deck that I have pretty much figured out how I want it to be played, how I want it to play itself out. OTK using Power Tool Dragon and United We Stand is a very fun way for me to play this game and something I definitely enjoy. Then on to another variant you have probably already seen on the channel that I definitely want to update in the near future. Machinatronix, a Machina Morphtronic hybrid, including Machina Redeployment, which is an amazing search card to easily get, you know, the Machinas out of your deck and essentially put and then, you know, put some Morphtronics on top of that onto the board. Citadel's a really cool card, has definitely some great synergy with the deck since a lot of Morphtronics tend to be Earth machines. Still very equip focused because this originated in its conception, this originated from a Machina Orcust list I saw at the time, back then Orcust was still something big in the meta. And because of the interaction between Machina Citadel and Dingirsu, the Orcust of the Evening Star, if I recall correctly, because Citadel would destroy himself by its own effect, but Dingirsu could protect himself from being destroyed. And this basically works on a similar kind of situation. Only in this case, you use Power Tool Dragon. So, for example, you make Power Tool Dragon, in this case I run Gravity Blaster to boost him because the boost sticks and does not disappear with the equip spell. So you make Power Tool, search the Gravity Blaster, equip that onto Power Tool, boost him by 400. On your opponent's turn you will activate Machina Citadel targeting your Power Tool Dragon, popping everything he controls that is 2700 or lower, which is still a great range for monsters to pop. And yeah, Power Tool Dragon will just get rid of Gravity Blaster and live to tell the tale, which is the amazing combination I really like about this deck, and which is why I am definitely going to think about optimizing this list a bit further in the future. Then another very classic Morphtronic list, the Synchro Spam list, or the Quasar build, or whatever you want to call this. For most people this is the standard way to play Morphtronics. It is just the most popular build. It is very simple to make a bunch of negates with this deck since it is so amazing when it comes to swarming. Can go first, can go second, depending on how you optimize it. But in general, this deck definitely excels at going first, putting up three or more negates and just being like, yep, you officially are not allowed to Yu-Gi-Oh! Today. I have also multiple times profiled this on the channel. Currently you will be seeing the list containing Gizmek Naganaki, which is also something cool. And then going into a bit of a different turn on the Synchro Spam part with the dice combo build I once profiled. This is in general very similar to Synchro Spam in what it wants to do. You want to make your Librarian, make your Synchros, make your Quasar, make your negates, and just essentially build a board your opponent cannot break. But in this case, because I do not at all have a gambling addiction, you play more dice-based cards. I generally run Dice Try Again in Synchro Spam Morphtronics because I think it is a great card for the deck that gives you a good chance of searching cell phone or smartphone depending on the situation, which is great. You could probably fit in the Gizmek Naganaki in this list as well to, you know, enable a bit more consistency, but Summon Dice and Dice Try Again are definitely the stars of this list alongside smartphone and cell phone that already have dice roll related effects. And with this out of the way, we are getting into some of the more weird stuff. And next up we have the main deck OTK that you guys have seen last week on the channel, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you just, you know, use cell phone, you use Borden, you use Radeon, and boom, Boxen to OTK the opponent in a very clean way. This definitely offers a lot of tools to, you know, OTK in a going second scenario using Morphtronic Accelerator, limiter removal. The gadgets are there for some extra, you know, consistency and swarming, making some rank 4s that definitely help fill in some blanks with the deck. It is definitely a quite, you know, frail deck, but in general I still think it's a lot of fun and a great take, or like a very nostalgic take on the deck, because a couple of years prior these decks were still something that you could run and something that people were actively running, but have fallen out of relevance since the extra deck became more and more prevalent over the years. What do we have next? We have, oh boy, the control build featuring Morphtronic map. This is a weird one. Yeah, this mostly uses Morphtronic Magnon, Borden, and Stapon for some attack soft locking, since your Morphtronics tend to be not that big. You do have a bit of, you know, extra deck for some, you know, occasional extra deck plays, since your main deck monsters are very, very limited. You play mostly spells and traps that either swap battle positions. Enemy controller is a good example. Zero gravity is also a great one, and morph transition is even greater. Pulse Mines is also a great option in this deck, since Pulse Mines is a trap card you can activate while you control a machine monster, with which all of your main deck monsters are. You change all your opponent's attack position monsters, if any, into defense. And also until the end of the turn, if your opponent would normal or special summon a monster, that is also changed to defense. Which works great with, I think, the key card in this list and why I wanted to make this Morphtronic map. In general, I think Morphtronic map is a really cool field spell, because whenever the battle position of a monster on the field is changed, it gains a morph counter. And for each morph counter, all Morphtronic map, all Morphtronic monsters gain 300 attack, which at all is not a too bad boost, if I'm completely honest with you guys. Especially if you consider that a lot of field spells give maybe 200, 300, 200 or something like that. So yeah, I wanted to make a build around that. This is very bricky and unoptimized, but I still did some testing with it and had a few laughs while doing it. What do we have next? We have, oh, the Infernoble crossover, or equip spell gang as I have dubbed it, since around the beginning of last year I stumbled upon Immortal Phoenix Gearfried while, you know, browsing through the Edo Pro search function as you do, and was like, damn, this guy looks pretty damn cool, and looked into when or how and why this guy was released, and saw that the OCG was getting a revamped Warriors Strike structure deck. Looked into a couple of the other cards in there, like the Infernoble Knight Renaud and Roland, also Evocator Evique that you are going to see here, Sublimation Knight, the cards that we got, and Tomb Chaos. In general, this is a bit of a meme fest. You're still trying to make some synchros, and like, if you pop off, you do pop off rather hard, as you do with, you know, every normal Morphtronic build, because machine duping Saffron and then just slapping an Immortal Phoenix Gearfried on top of your board. This is a bit of a weird one, since you run DDR instead of Repair Unit. You could also definitely make Repair Unit work in this one. You run Supreme Rapinus Supreme Magic Blade in this one, which is also a very interesting equip spell I want to include in a Morphtronic list at some point, because it gives you targeting protection while the monster is in attack, and makes it indestructible by battle while it is in defense. Which in general does have some great synergy with Morphtronics, especially if you think about it, that also enables you to make an extra normal summon by swapping the monster's battle position at the start of the battle phase. Which is kinda neat, honestly. So yeah, you can make of this what you want, but I just wanted to have some fun with some Fire Warrior stuff. This doesn't mix that well, but I think it's still cool. And the last one I think I have for you guys today is an Xyz spam variant focused on making Infinitrack Fortress Mega Clops, which I think is a really cool card because I really like the Infinitrack deck and will probably pick that up sometime this year when, you know, it comes around, I guess. But yeah, you just use your Morphtronics for Xyz instead of Synchros. You just make things like, you know, Sylvan Princess Sprite, which has some decent synergy with the deck since you can stack with Smartphone and, you know, manipulate the effect, grab a junk box or something like that. Mirror the Starbearer is here to get multiple cell phones off the board after machine duping. Cicada King is a decent negate. Levier is a card I would in general advise to run a Morphtronics since it has great synergy not only with Smartphone but also with Remoten. And then, you know, just some generic rank 4s, rank 3s that you want to run to easily enable some board presence and either make Infinitrack Fortress Mega Clops or just use those Xyz for your plays. Yeah, what is the redeeming quality of this? I guess Scopen has some level modulation, enabling some rank 4s. But this is also one of those things where, you know, it was an idea that crossed my mind. This is also a very work in progress list that I basically threw together on the fly. But this is what I would envision Xyz spam Morphtronics to look like. Yeah. So with all of this out of the way, since I do not have any more notes to go off of, definitely let me know if you have experimented with either Morphtronics or another deck you really enjoy in the comments down below. Definitely let me know what kind of stuff you came up with, you know, because I think experimenting with your favorite deck in many ways is something that makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Such a great and creative game, even if those experiments sometimes don't turn out as great. And if any of the lists in this video interested you, definitely also let me know down below, because then, you know, I can work on getting these lists a bit more refined and maybe put out a profile in the future. But with all this out of the way, I will thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again next time. But until then, goodbye.